Good morning. Welcome to the Cozy Homestead. It's a chilly Saturday morning here in the state of Georgia, but we are inside where it's nice and warm. If you're outside, hopefully you had an opportunity to take a look at the video that Tim had did on cold weather preparedness and things to have for that. If not, go check that one out. In the meantime, here today, I am actually going to be covering one of our bug out bags that we have prepared already. This one is, in my opinion, when I first saw this bag, it was prepped by my father-in-law before his passing. This one is more of a 3-day emergency bag or hiking bag, just in case, something should happen. So without further ado, we'll get into what we got going on here and the basics of a 3-day emergency bag. Hope you enjoy it. All right, everybody. So I don't have a lot of wilderness expertise the way Tim and my father-in-law Don did. They were both in the military. They both gone through extensive training. So this video is going to be for more of the inexperienced person looking to get a bug out bag or a 3-day emergency bag put together, like I said, for a camping trip or a hike or something like that. So then one of the first things we're going to do is we're going to start by showing off what I feel is the most important, and then down onto just some of the extras you could pack into your bag if you need it. Now, if you are out camping or hiking and something catastrophic should happen and you become stranded, if you read any survival books or look at anybody who's experienced in cold weather, hot weather, extended period of time, emergency camping or survival situations, they're going to tell you the first and most important thing for mental stability, so to speak, fortitude is a better word, is fire. So one of the things we have in this bug out kit is a waterproof container with lighters. I would personally add some different matches and maybe a starter, a ferro rod with a striker. I did not see one in this bag, so that is one thing that I would actually add to mine. But the ability to start fire is prime in any kind of survival situation, whether it's just for your mental health, keeping things together. It's been proven that a fire can actually help with your mental fortitude, your stick-to-itiveness, your ability to not panic or stress too much about the situation you're in. So we have 4 Bic lighters in a waterproof container that goes into one of the compartments we have on our bag. And our bag is a fairly big, when fully packed bug out bag. One of the other important things, especially if you're stranded and you're only on a hike, now as you saw, there's a couple canteens on this bag itself, but that water is only going to last so long if you're stuck. So one of the things you should have also is a filtration system of some sort. Now this is a filter straw. These work great. It will help you cleanse any dirty water, even if it looks clean. You never know what's in it. So this will help keep you hydrated with clean water. So this is also very, very important to keep in your bag. The other thing that I think is probably utmost important is a weather radio. Now this one comes with batteries, rechargeable, as well as AAA's. It has a solar panel and it has a hand crank on it. Okay. This actually also has a charging port for your phones or other devices, and it has headphones, jacks, if you just want to listen to music. This will do regular radio as well as 7 different weather band channels. Knowing what's coming and what can happen so you're prepared is prime. This also does have a flashlight on it. It has a red blinker and a solid light. So this is a multifunction radio for your tunes, your weather updates, keeping your devices charged. Something like this is prime to have with you, especially, again, if you're stranded and you don't know what the weather is going to be, if you should go high, if you should go low, wherever. So something like this in your bag is great to have. Now, me personally, like I said at the beginning of this, I never went through any training schools or anything like that like Tim did. And you see him with his channels. He's probably a little bit more knowledgeable than I am, by a lot actually. So I picked up a couple of books that I keep in my bug out bags. I have another one, but this one is, I think, probably a little bit more suited to emergency style survival situations. The other one I have is a good book. It's the Survival Handbook, I believe it is called. I'd have to look it up again, but this one was actually written by a British SAS soldier. So it's got a lot of really good in-depth information, from traps to edible fungus to field surgery. So that is a good one. And then knowing how to tie a knot is also very handy. So I have a book on knots. This shows you everything from just simple knots to tie things up, all the way how to weave multiple pieces of rope together. Very good. They don't take up a lot of room in the bag. They're handy to have. You never know when you need to tie something and have it hold for whatever reason. Now back to the weather, the weather radio. We have some gloves that'll help keep your hands warm or from getting worn out. If it's warm, you don't need to worry about cold weather, so you wouldn't think gloves. But a pair of gloves like this can keep your hands from getting blistered, tore up. And if your hands don't work and you're in an emergency situation, you're screwed, basically. So a pair of gloves. These are just lightweight. These will keep you warm in I wouldn't say frigid temperatures, but cooler temperatures, or, like I said, for doing the work that needs to be done to survive. Next, we have some mesh. This could be used if you're in an area with a lot of mosquitoes. You can put it over your face, over your hat, over your head. This could also be used for food collection if need be, along with the rope. So you just have your netting. You can make a bag that you catch fish in, whatever that may look like to you. Again, over your face for mosquito netting, whatever the case may be. So a little bit of netting in this one. And then we have a bivy, a rain jacket or a tarp for covering your camp. I do not have a tent. Again, you were out hiking or whatever. So this can be used for creating a canopy, a tarp. Even if you put it on the ground and you lay on it, if it's nice and warm, that way you're not getting wet if it rains, or on the cold, or I'm sorry, wet ground. So we have that. Toilet paper. Got to have some comforts out there. Not only is this good for bodily functions, but you can use this for starting fires as well. A little bit of toilet paper under your tinder starts really quickly. It does not burn long, but it starts quickly and it's dry. So having something dry to light tinder, especially if you're using a flint and steel, this starts really well. And you don't want to be stuck without fire. I mean, who wants that? Moving on to a little bit more of the essentials. We have an IFAK, an individual first aid kit. Now, this is just a basic one. You can't do field surgery if you break a leg. This little kit is not going to help you. But in this, we have some gauze, some medication, aspirin, sting relief. So if you cut your finger and you need to bandage it up or stuff like that, this is a good little kit for that. You can buy them, you can make them, you can get very in-depth kits. You can build a kit, and I do have a couple of those where you could essentially do field surgery, and I'm talking full-on surgery if you know what you're doing, sutures, clamping. We have, and you can get them at stores, especially preparedness stores if you have one around you. There's clotting powders, there's all sorts of stuff that you can get. This is just a basic IFAC individual first aid kit. Nothing major, nothing serious, but if you get a cut, you want to clean it out, especially in a emergency situation. You get an infected cut on your finger, and that'll wreak havoc on everything. A knife. You always want to have a knife in your bags. Camping, hiking, bug out, whatever the case may be. My father-in-law was very keen on the kukris. He liked these knives. He used them when he was into service. This is a great knife. As you can see, it's been well loved. It is still plenty sharp. Choppers, fighting. These knives are great for a wide variety of things. You can use them to build shelters if need be, chop firewood, especially when you're getting into the dry centers or whatever the case, smaller tinder. You can actually chop with this particular knife. If you had a log, you can hammer on that to cut smaller pieces or more controlled. But we have several of these. Amongst other knives that we carry in our bags, but several of these for the workhorses of the bug out bag. Now for the important stuff. Food. If you're somewhere where you can't catch, trap, shoot, or kill, you want to have something with you. Again, like I said, this is more of a 3-day bug out bag. This is not an extended period. I'm disappearing for weeks or months on end. So we have some basic MREs that we keep in the bag. If you've never had an MRE, they are not fantastic, but they aren't that bad either. This particular one is chicken breast strips with chunky salsa. There's a few others in here with Western style beans and stuff like that. These have tons of calories in them, which is what you need if you're lost in a survival situation. A deficit in the system of additional calories, fat, sodium, anything that you would need can cause issues with clarity of thinking, weakness and fatigue. If you don't eat, you don't survive. Now, you can go further without food than you can water, so I would say always have the filtration kit as an absolute must. Never, never, never have a kit without some kind of water filtration. I don't care if it's just pots and pans, which we do have some dinnerware stuff in here also. Just the simple fold-up all-in-one kits where you got your tray and your little water cup and stuff like that. You can boil water, but you need fire for that. So MREs are good, high calorie if you know you're not going to be lost or stranded for very long. And then obviously we got to make the MREs taste good, so we got a little spice kit that we have here with our kit, just because we can, and obviously because we're not intended to be lost for too long. We're gonna live a little bit. We're gonna make sure things taste good. Towel for general hygiene, and we do have a shower kit. A bag with Aspercreme in there. We got cortisones, because things are gonna get sore. We've got mouthwash, soap, big ass bar of soap. Q-tips, deodorant, razors, just some of the comforts that you can actually bring with you. Again, nobody is ever intending to be lost for long periods of time. So a simple kit, just being able to wash up, that can go a long way with making you feel better about your situation. Especially if this kit was made with my mother-in-law in mind as well. So there's some things in there for her that would make her feel better. In this case, even my wife going out with us. But it looks like a little fishing box, and it just has some essentials in there, things to make it a little easier when you're out in the woods. All right. Last but not least, me personally, I wouldn't go anywhere without protection. So one of the last things we have is just a general shotgun. This is a 12 gauge, nothing major, just something to carry with your bag. Make sure you have some rounds with you. But shotgun is probably the most versatile to keep, because you can do slugs, you could do buckshot, you can do all sorts of different rounds. Dove, which is smaller pellets, so if you have to shoot at squirrels or anything, you're not just blowing them into puffballs. So a shotgun is something that I would carry with you. We will go into more in depth on other things regarding weaponry and some of the vests or gear that you might carry for that. That'd be more of a serious situation where you need to protect yourself and your family, and it's imperative to get out immediately. That's not what the intention of this video is. Again, this is just kind of, you're out, something happens, you're stranded for a couple of days. So like I said, about a 3-day bag. And then we have our sleeping bag. Now this is vacuum sealed, so it fits into the bag a little bit easier. But it's not a severe cold sleeping bag, so it's more of a temperate weather sleeping bag, but it is in there as well. All in all, I'd say this bag probably weighs about 20, maybe 25 pounds fully packed up. If you're in good physical health, it shouldn't be much at all to carry that around for a day. If you, like I said, are camping or if you're hiking. But the stuff in there is essential in case of an emergency. I appreciate y'all watching. That is what I have in my 3-day bug out bag. Now I got to put it all back together again, but I hope you all enjoyed the information, enjoy this video. Please like and subscribe. We are the Cozy Homestead, and we look forward to hearing from you all.